What up? What's up? Big shout out to everybody out there in the Shark Tank. Big shout out to all my people out there on the back street. Y'all know what time it is. It's Talk Shit Tuesday. What up, everybody? What up? What up? What up? Let me get my shout outs out the way. Again, big shout out to all my people in the Shark Tank, all my people out there on the back street. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And don't forget to hit the damn like button. It don't cost you nothing. It's free. Big shout out to my man, first one to show up tonight, the Swamp Nest Monster, a.k.a. Melee. What up, fam? Big shout out to my man, Johnny 5LBC213 in the house. What up, fam? Big shout out to my man, Mr. Chico Nicholas, representing the D-Town. What up, fam? The Mad Doctor. I see you, fam. Bite down and shake that like button. The one and only Double M Despo in the house. What up, fam? Representing the 08 and 10 cent, Mr. 216 in the house. What up, fam? Big shout out to my man, Mr. William McNeil. What up, fam? Big shout out to my man, K-Walk. What up, fam? Yo, big shout out to my man, Mr. Bub Johnson in the house. What up, fam? Yo, RBG Lone Wolf. I see you, fam. Union County Kennels in the hills. What up, fam? Again, appreciate everybody for showing up on this Talk Shit Tuesday night. Again, big shout out to all my people out there on the back street. Hey, before I get started tonight on anything, as usual, I got to have my little 2 cents to say to something. And I'm going to this is a little bit off subject. I try not to deal with politics and everything else, but sometimes these things are necessary, especially when we're talking about branding tonight. We're talking about the branding of the American Pit Bull Terrier. But before I get into that, something had been bothering me this week here. You know what I'm saying? I tell y'all, my wife is dealing with breast cancer and lung cancer. Okay. Now, there's some medicine that she's supposed to be, over the last 2 years, she had to take this medicine. And this medicine went from say, just here recently, as of January, her medicine went from $2,500 to $3,500. And that's for 1 month. Now, keep this in mind now, prior to this year, that medicine didn't cost her nothing. But this year, that medicine is costing her $500 a month. No. You sound like that's not much, but think about it. That same medicine that was at $2,500 that the insurance was paying for went to $3,500, and now they're putting the cost back on the patients. Now, this medicine is very important because when you're dealing with radiation and chemo, it kind of supposed to, slow down the process of the cancer. So I figured, what in the hell could have possibly happened, that would make them want to increase the pill that most cancer patients are going to need. And I sat down, I've been thinking about it, and then, you really stop thinking about that type of stuff. And, it seemed like a whole lot of people is dying of cancer or coming up with cancer. I might not have been paying as much attention to it prior to my wife having cancer. But, since she's had cancer, I've been paying close attention to, I had a lot of friends, being diagnosed with cancer. I have a niece dealing with cancer. And I just know that America hasn't gotten to the point that we're taking advantage of the sick people. And kind of make you want to question, like COVID, do you really want to take the advice of someone, that you think is trying to look out for your best interest as far as your health? Because that's kind of hard to do when it's always profit involved. Y'all know what I'm saying. The bills, if bills is going up for everybody else, all they basically are doing is passing the cost off to the consumer. And y'all know when you're paying $16 for a dozen eggs, and everything is getting costly, I just never thought it would transform into the medical field. I remember they did pull a stunt like that with people who had diabetes. Now, my dad had diabetes, but because of his VA insurance, VA basically took care of it. But then y'all remember that that the government had to step in and basically put a cap on the insulin because it was getting too expensive for the average person to buy. That insulin is something that a person with diabetes, they need that or they can die. And they held that over them people's head, and, before they actually done something about it. Imagine how many people suffered when they couldn't afford that cost of that insulin to the point to where they had to do without it. And I think, I look at my wife's situation and it's kind of like she needs this. So basically, even with my situation, it's kind of like imagine how other people have to deal with those situations, because when she goes to get her radiation and her chemo treatments, you think about how many people I see just be sitting in those waiting rooms. I mean, and that goes on like 6 days a week. And I think other than Sunday, it's 6 days a week. And it's constantly, funneling them in like that. So I was really, really, really disturbed about that situation. So, even when we're dealing with the simple things in life, as the electric bill's going up, the food's going up, everything's going up. Y'all know the dog food done went up. And it's just one of them situations, as me being an older person in life with a medical condition, it's not like I'm young anymore. So I can't get out and do the things that I used to do when I had a house full of kids. I'd work, try to work as much as I possibly could, even back then, because then it didn't bother me. I'd be up out on the job site 7 o'clock in the morning and probably wouldn't get home until 10:30, 11 o'clock, because I was always trying to get that job done so I could be off to the next job. Then I ran into a situation, I try to help people. Some of the older clients I have, they're on Social Security, so they're limited in their income based on what they can do. So a lot of times I try to help in that matter by taking certain things and fixing it, and then I take the brunt of the cost just to help somebody out. Now, I always felt like I don't do that for glory. I don't do that for, recognition. God takes care of me, because I do it from my heart. But it's almost a sad situation because I ran into a young lady. She wasn't really that young, but she her AC had went out, and it was time she had to buy another AC. So, as of January 1st for us, we're doing a big changeover from one type of Freon to something new. 6 months ago, the industry stopped, basically told the manufacturers that as of January 1st, you can't make these systems anymore. You got to be making these other systems. So 6 months ago, manufacturers knew this was coming, so they basically stopped making the old stuff and started working on the new stuff. Well, January ain't been but almost 3 months ago. Well, as of January 1st, we had a 6% increase on the new equipment before it even got out. Now, you know how I feel about new shit. New shit being rushed in, you're always going to have problems, because it's too new. But when you're spending that kind of money, the last thing you want to do is spend a bunch of money and something don't work. That's a big issue. But this lady had, she called me, and I always tell them to, go get a couple estimates. And then, now imagine she's been without AC, which is cool here in Florida because it hasn't really gotten hot yet. As of March 1st, we got another increase of 6%. So that means in the last 90 days, we have had a 12% increase on a piece of equipment that's brand new. This is already expensive out the box, but to keep increasing it. And the lady was so heartbroken because the bids that she had got beforehand, they had all changed, which was already high. And she asked me if there was anything I could do. And of course, there was something I could do. Because I'm going to go out and I'm going to find her something that she can afford without having to spend that large amount of money. I wouldn't care if it was scratch and dent. I know somebody out here had something to help me help her. I pulled that off. It was a blessing to her and it was a blessing to me because I did get a chance to help her. But think about all the average Americans who are going to be put in a situation to where you're going to have to come up with something or you're going to have to do it out. Which takes me back to my comment about the cancer situation. Imagine how that feels to not be able to afford a medicine that you need. That's a scary feeling in America. It really is. And it's a disturbing feeling in America. Simply because we have a big platform as far as this community here. This community, we talk about dogs, but we're all impacted in some type of way with this everyday living thing. And I just wanted to get that off my chest simply because it's sad for me being I'm so much older and have to work just that much harder when it's things that I'm forced to have to do that I'm not supposed to do, but I prefer to have my wife over that. You know what I'm saying? So these are the predicaments that we live with on an everyday basis. And I thought I'd throw that out there because there's so many people that's out there that's having to go through things. And I think some of us should be blessed that it's not happening to us, but true and best believe that life ain't nothing but a big circle. And just put it like this, it just ain't caught up to you. But when it does, you have to be in a position to be ready to deal with it. And I believe as long as I help people, and I've not just started this, I've always been this kind of guy, that God blesses and takes care of me along the way. It's not about the hoorah. It's not about, trying to take the glory. Me, it's all about helping somebody who needed the help because those people seem to appreciate that help when they direly needed it. And I think God takes care of me because I'm still here. So I figure I'm blessed. So I think we need a whole lot more blessed people in the world, to help some of these other people, because I think if God put them type of people in front of you, he's expecting you to be that blessing to that person. And if you find it in your heart to bless that person, he's always going to find it to bless you. So that's just something I throw out there that don't mean nothing by it. It's not me taking a political stand. It's just me getting something off my chest because I'm always been for passing something forward, doing it from your heart because those things really do matter, you know? So, tonight we're going to be talking about branding, business, it's almost like a business conversation, but not really. Because I heard somebody, always say we're always talking about the old shit and never talking about some, the things to help the young guys moving forward in the new thing. And I already told y'all how I feel about the new thing. It's like that AC system I was talking about. These are big time manufacturers. You got Carrier, you got Train, you got Goodman, you got all these different brands out there. Okay. They all have a product they're trying to sell. But what makes that product better than the next product? And that's how the branding is for these bulldogs. If you think about how we brand bulldogs, Floyd, he's branded. Then you got Ronnie Boyles. You got the Ronnie Boyles brand. That brand consisted of certain things. I would say Stone City, Hardcore, Southern Kennels, even Chico Lopez. I mean, their branding, Chico's a little bit different because if you really want to know how to brand dogs, I would take a page out of his book. Because in the past, our dogs, the quality of the dogs spoke for the brand. The quality of the dog also spoke to the person the brand is named after. Like Ronnie Boyles. We talk about not just Southern Kennels, we talk about Mayday. You can't talk about Mayday without talking about Southern Kennels. Southern Kennels branded the Mayday brand. So everything that came off of Mayday, that's the brand. That's what you push. That's how you push it. Why was Mayday such a high sought after brand? Well, we know why. We know why. And then, but was he just enough? No. He could have never been the Mayday that we know today if it doesn't be for the fact that he was able to produce other dogs like him. They didn't have to be exactly like him, but they were winners. Remember, we're grading the brand based off of their ability to either produce or perform or to be able to do both. That was the criteria of branding of the American Pit Bull Terrier. When you change that, moving into the future, and I'm only speaking this from a businessman aspect, you have to be willing to step outside the box and be able to create something that people want to be involved in, want to be a part of, or want to have for themselves. And I say that to the young crew. Us older ones, we probably already know it. We just sit around and we love talking bulldogs. But this is an understanding to where I'm trying to get to the ones who think it's easy to be able to have something that has your name on it. We always be bullshitting when we say, well, we don't have no grand champion treadmill racers or wall climbers or confirmation show winners, that we can stand behind like that because, again, it's like these new AC units, it's too new. And even with these new systems, there's still shit that goes wrong. They still have to fix shit. I had a guy who called me, had his system put in 3 weeks ago, and it wasn't something I put in. But 3 weeks after having it in, it was broke down. Purpose he called to me because he didn't trust what the other person was telling me and wanted to know how I felt about it. And I told him, you know, I am trying not to install any of the new systems because there's going to be a bunch of problems. And these things happen when you're dealing with things that are new. You got to give them a chance to get a little time and grade under them so they can get out all the kinks to really appreciate the cost. Like everything, when it first come out, the expense of it be high as hell. But as years go on, they get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Do they get better? No, because they never make anything nowadays that's supposed to last. And growing up, I understand that being in the field that I am. Being in the field I am, we deal with electrical, plumbing, um, refrigeration of all types, commercial, residential. Give me a restaurant that don't have an AC. Give me a hospital that don't have an AC. Give me a house that don't have a washer, dryer, refrigerator, or stove. I mean, these are things that we have to have out of necessity. These are things that we can't live without. So imagine that. These bulldogs ain't that serious. They're not that serious. We can do without them. But let's take it like this is what we love to do. Most of the time, if you love to do music, you're going to have an expense in your studio equipment. The more time that you get involved, the more your studio is going to grow and the more high tech you're going to get because your brand is going to be the quality of your music. In order to get that, you got to be able to keep up with the times and keep up with the sound and make yours better than what everybody else's is doing, or at least to where everybody can say, hey, so that sounds like so and so's. Yeah. Dr. Dre, prime example. Notice everything he touched turns gold. But these dogs can work the same exact way. You just got to understand, for us, there was a purpose. So yes, we can sit back and talk about all of that. Why? Because history shows where everybody fell into play. Without history, you would not know how that looked. But when you, like from my era, and think back at what history did, it speaks for itself. But when it's new like that, which to me is actually the best time, because mainly that's how it does work. If you're the first to do it, you're going to get paid swell. Everybody else is basically going to copycat off of what you've done. But as a creator, you're trying to make what you've done even better. To hold off and feed off the competition. And I think dealing with, if you're trying to brand these dogs, just throwing a bunch of dogs together and breed them and throwing papers out there, that's not going to last. Because the quality of the product is always going to outweigh what's on that piece of paper. The quality of the work is always going to shine over any and everything that you do moving forward. And just trying to get I'm trying to help you guys create a foundation that when you build that foundation, you're going to be putting something on top of that foundation, and that foundation's got to be able to maintain. So keep that thought in mind as Mo starts talking, because I'm pretty sure he's going to talk about what made certain people who they were and how they were able to do it. And you have to be able to take that same ideal, and you know how we are about, if you want to do something, you do something like somebody else. Don't necessarily have to be the same thing, but you want to follow the same format and be willing to understand that format to where you're going to be getting the same results. At least if you get that much right, you can make what you're doing yours, because you're trying to build off of what got you to where you're at. And I think that's important to the community because we hear a whole lot about the old school and the way we used to do things. Well, okay. But should that make a difference? Branding is branding, regardless of how old it was or how new it is. The fact is, how do you make it yours? That's where I'm at with the conversation today. Understanding how to brand and make it yours. Feel me where I'm coming from. So let me make sure, I don't want to make sure I don't miss nobody. Big shout out to the Mad Doctor, my man Eli Monster. Big shout out to my man Mr. Burning Star. Let's see, anyone else? Big shout out to Arrowhead Kennels. I see you, fam. Game Breakers in the house. What up, fam? Big shout out to the one and only longtime supporter, my man, Mr. Dickie Foster's in the house. I think I got all caught up. Just want to make sure I didn't lose nobody in between. So look here, y'all. Y'all do me a favor. Don't forget to hit them like buttons. Don't forget to hit the like buttons. On you, Mo. With the mic check. What's up, everybody? Thank y'all for coming out. Hope everybody doing all right tonight. I don't know. When I be thinking about the conversation of branding dogs compared to then and now, it's like coming up with a whole new rule book. You know what I'm saying? See, back then, they was branding off of bragging about the dogs that was coming out of these yards. Branding is almost like you have to earn that to be branded. You know, you can come up with a real nice name. You know what I mean? Real catchy. If you got a decent product with a catchy name, that in itself can make you a branded company with your product just based on the catchy name. You know, it's whatever catches the audience, that draws that audience your direction. You know, you put that stamp like Nike got the swoop on their shoe. You know, Gucci got that Gucci in their symbols and put it everywhere. You know, it's just when it comes down to the dogs, you know, I'm still back here on the bus and I'm looking up here to the front of the bus, going back y'all way, and I keep asking myself, you know, how different branding of the dogs are going to be. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot more breedings going on out here. A lot of matching of good pedigrees. We see that. But we're still, to me, looking at it from my standpoint, you still are basing your brand or your line based on the dogs of the past and your pedigrees. You really want to carry the brand of some particular great dogs into your pedigree and build a brand just off of that, not what made that particular line of dogs great, but the fact that you're working and you're doing things with the breeding of those dogs. But at the same time, your brand is only built off of what you're bringing from the back to the front. Can't deny that. If you try to deny that, you're lying. Because it's exactly what it is. There's nothing else for you to brand onto but the past. You know? If there's no past, how many of you guys really going to go out there and really be breeding your dogs to nothing with no past? With no credentials of whatever the stipulation that you're breeding for is. You know, we go through these pedigrees a lot. We know what pedigrees we go through. We all know this. What are we going through? What are we looking at? What do we see? We see a formula. That formula is built. It's literally built on what? What do we grade it on? So to be able to do that in the now, somewhere in there, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't match up. You know, you're building a brand, still building off the past, yet you're still fussing about the past, not making a difference when you're using the past to build on. You know what I'm saying? So when we say branding of the dogs now, you know, I be looking for the new brand of American Pit Bulls, the new brand of the dogs in a different light that everybody keep trying to shine. You know, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on a lot of things, you know. One in particular, like I said, the way everybody's breeding their dogs. You know, and it's, you know, they're trying to throw the back part of it out of the pedigree and just make it they stuff. This is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. But I guarantee when you got that paperwork, what you gonna see? You're gonna see that he is not basing nothing on nothing he's doing but to bring the back to the front. And he's using what's back there up in the front, even though he wants to deny that and go on the fact that he just took that line of dogs and made it his own. Which may be your own because that's what you feeding, but you ain't changed. You're still reaching back here, building off of what you was back here. Period. You can't say you're not. Because without that back there, what good would it be to any of us? For real. Gotta have something worth being there to get there. So I am in total agreement with, you know, I just don't see the branding aspects of anybody branding a line of dogs out here without depending on what's in their past. Even if you're not doing anything with the dogs but showing a continuing line of these dogs, it's still being built off of what's back there in his past, in the dog's past. Because as you move forward, that's all you're going to keep going back to when it comes to selling your dogs. Probably the first place you start. Back there, talk about it, then work your way up and how this was done and that was done and what you're doing. There's no way you're going to start at 1 and 2 with nothing there and think you're going to be you're going to blow up selling a bunch of puppies. With what? You know it and I know it. I see it out here all the time. Everybody out here selling dogs. Everybody out here breeding dogs. But everybody is out here is trying to do it the new way, but ain't nobody still, like Mike said, what new way are y'all using? You're still using the past as your key to growth. To branding. You're going to change something that was back there in the back, bring it all the way up to the front and call it your brand. But you're still carrying what's back here. If you didn't have nothing back here to carry forward, you wouldn't have shit. You wouldn't have nothing to fall on and say, I came from this to this to this. Come on, you know you wouldn't be selling nothing. Everybody in this room would say that.
So stop denying like y'all really trying to get away from the past. Stop denying that because you're still building your yards off the past. You're still bragging on your yards off the past. You know, I ain't seen one person throw up a pedigree, a grand champion treadmill runner. Not even a champion treadmill runner. You know, let's build off that pedigree. Let's build a brand off of that grand champion meal running bulldog. Or that world breaking wall dog. Or that great champion weight pull dog. You know, everybody's got a bulldog trying to get a line off of that, you know, to compete. Yeah, y'all competing. Y'all, you know, just the best place you got to get one from somebody who's competing. You're not taking the competing out of it. What you're taking out of it is what you're building your name off of. Y'all don't have nothing to build your names off of but what's back in the past. Still using our dogs. You're still using working bulldogs of the past to build your lines.
I want to give a big shout out to nephew out there, Red Bobby. I see you, fam.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Talk of the City Kennels. I see you, fam.
Now, anybody got any opinions or anything to speak on while I'm riding down through here? Please, all opinions are open. You know, I'm open to opinions and input. You know what I'm saying? I am. You know, I see a lot of guys that got inputs everywhere else, but I really be wanting inputs over here with me. You know, a lot of y'all come in here and be like, Twin, right, so why? I ain't got no reason to say anything different. You know what I mean? There ain't got much of an opinion. If you say he wrong, and you can't come up with an explanation to prove he wrong. You know, most of the polls that we do shows how that works. So it's the reason why a lot of guys really don't have true input unless they're agreeing or they got a real good conversation to have about it, which is very next to never. You know, they have inputs to add to it to make it even make more sense. You know, but that's what I be looking for. I be looking for input because I feel like what I'm saying, you know, is good conversation because y'all know what I'm saying is true. Can't nobody sit there and tell me they building their own line of dogs and all we building on is that it's their line, nothing in the back. We going on what's here right now. It's what I'm doing right now, which is breeding. Come on. How many phone calls is he really getting? Y'all know y'all ain't calling. We pull up too many great pedigrees to know that y'all wouldn't make that phone call over there. You need something a little bit more than just him. I don't know him. I don't know his dogs. I don't know what he's doing. He's got a whole page of his shit. I don't even know what the shit go back to. You know? But he's strong on his shit. He got 4 generations of him and his breedings. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody calling. Y'all better he better have an explanation to go back somewhere. And y'all know it. Y'all know it. You know, it could be a guy right there in your inner circle got a whole yard of dogs like that. And then not one of y'all in a 5-mile radius ever went and bought a dog from me. Been doing it for years. You don't do nothing with them, but make good breedings with him with his line of dogs. Because when you go looking for a dog from him, what are you going over there looking for? His name being all over the pedigree? I'm trying to figure out what it is. See, y'all ain't explaining yourself enough for me. I hear your arguments, but y'all ain't really getting down to the grid of the crystal. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't really getting real with it. What are you buying? What for? Y'all lining the papers based on history. You cannot deny it. Till you get something other than what's going on in the history that I come from, face that. Trust that. Believe that. You know? Because that's the only way you're going to get the phone calls if you're trying to build your brand. You can't be sitting up there with a whole line of dogs, of Mayday dogs, and then come out and just say, but these is my Mayday dogs. This is the way I'm breeding them. This is what I'm doing with them right here. Ain't doing nothing what the Mayday dogs used to do. You just putting the papers together saying, I got these Mayday dogs here. I did this one, and this one, and this one. And I'm telling you, look at it. What am I looking at? Huh? I'm just asking. What am I looking at? You can't get mad at me for asking that question. Okay? Seeing your pretty pedigree through here. You got all that great bread shit there. Pulling it all up. There you go, sitting right there at the top. Hell of a pedigree. But you already know next question. You already know what next question. How are you going to have a brand of this shit if you keep using what's back here? And that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. To promote what you're doing up front. And then you go to get that question, what am I looking at? Nice ass bread shit. But I would at least like to hear it's running a treadmill, race, weight pool, confirmation, wall. It's the only way you're going to build if that's all you're trying to do. I mean, it's got to be something more than just putting these nice-ass pedigrees together with untested nothing. I mean, what are you doing this for if we're not, for what? And then what are we buying? What are you selling? It needs clarification if you're trying to get rid of us old guys. You got some answers to answer to. You know what I'm saying? You got some answers to answer to, because we still see you back here messing around in our treasure chest. Putting new stipulations on our shit to make it fit your shit. But you want to say that we need to go sit down. But you're still using us to build yourself up. When you building pedigrees and not even fitting our category, so I can understand why y'all want to get rid of us. Because when we start hollering about y'all shit up there, we going to be like, y'all shit ain't nothing like the shit back here. Start acting like that. Because what you doing with it? What you doing with my shit?
Big shout out to the Game Breaker. I'm going to give another big shout out to CPK, American Pitbull Terrier Kennels in the house.
What's up, baby?
What up, fam? Big shout out to Cosmin Cal TV. I see you, fam.
Come on, man. Come on.
Want to give a big shout out to Mr. Henson. I see you, fam. And just in case, I might not have said it, but big shout out to my main man, Mr. William McNeil in the house. Okay. What up, fam?
No comments, Mike? No input?
No.
What's up, y'all? Y'all ain't trying to join me on that one.
KBK, I see you, fam.
Y'all ain't trying to join me on that one. We can't talk about that on Talk Shit Tuesday.
K-Monger, what up, fam?
You know, I think it's a good open conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because sooner or later, it's going to come down to that question. You know, it's going to be beyond the great dogs. It's going to be so far back that they won't show up on even on a 6th generation pedigree or 8th generation pedigree. And what are we going to be named for these type of dogs? What will they ever be named for anything after all the good putting together of the paper stop? You know, being so far back that you got to do a damn near Dibo on your generations of great dogs. You know what I mean? And then what would be the brand? What would be the purpose if it's not in some type of competitive action to build from? You know, that's a good question, right?
My man K-Walk said, old guys come from old guys. It's nothing new under the sun. If anyone is active with their dogs, it's their brand, new with respect from the old.
But listen to what he said. New with their respect from the old. But if you're doing, but he said activities. He did mention activities. He said if guys and the new are using their dog for activities, doesn't mean dog fighting. You know what I'm saying? Just something. You know, you're making a name with your dog doing something, right? Something. If you're making these good breedings, right? And you really want to shake off the old, well, you don't got to depend on reaching back there and pointing out what's going on back there and what you didn't pull to the front. You have to have something worthy to start from without using the back. It's got to be something different. Imagine taking a good Eli dog. You know, he got art in him. He got bully son in him. You know what I'm saying? He got honey bunch, Jeep, got all the right stuff in him. Yet he is world champion. He is world champion on climbing a wall.
I want to give a big shout out to my man, Mr. Derek Lockett. I see you, fam.
You know what I'm saying?
Hello?
World champion in climbing the wall. Now just imagine that.
Yeah, we don't know.
It would be a very famous dog based on not only reason because he has a background of great dogs, but he has a background of great dogs that has brought him way up here to the front, carrying all the great qualities in his competing of being a great wall climber, and can easily relate that to his generation back here. It kind of all coincides from the back to the front. Purposes changed, but the quality of the dogs in his way of competing in that particular level, I could see somebody building a brand of dogs, coming off some Eli stuff, with all them great dogs in it, and breaking world records. And still be related to his generation in the back. Even though he's doing something totally different in the now, it would still show a good relationship between the quality of that dog right then and the heritage of that possible, really the main points of the quality of that dog would still reflect his pedigree. Got to start from somewhere to see where it come from, right? You're always going to run to the back to see. Then you're going to come to the front. Tell me one person who don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's the key, and that's the point. whether it be confirmation, anything pertaining to confirmation, anything pertaining to shows, you know, maybe they even get down into using them in training and protection work like that and having certain contests. You know, those would be some good dogs to put in. You know, I mean, just those are just things that I don't see that we are there yet. You know, so I always question breedings. You know, when I say the purpose, I'm not trying to lead you to tell me that, you know, your dog is game. I'm trying to see your purpose of making such a great breeding, especially pertaining to the pedigree that you're looking at, consists of some great bulldogs who then made a name of himself throughout history. Got him pretty well tallied up. You continue taking your bitch to great dogs and breeding great dogs and continue to have these spectacular bred dogs. You're gonna sell, but you're selling dogs based on the pedigree of the past. And there's no way you're gonna tell me you're not. But that's all you're doing, and that's all you got them, and that's all you're breeding for. And you're keeping it tight. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. But that's going to run out. You know, it's going to run out. You know, after a while, you know, not knocking Chico, but a lot of, you know, his stuff was on the go. You know, he did a lot of great promoting. You know, claiming he was better than SCP, claiming he had all these great dogs. None of them seemed to be winning over here in the United States, but everything was running like crazy over there, wherever it was. And it was basically always his story. But him promoting himself and him pushing his dogs and him telling his lies, it worked. And he created him a brand of dog. Now, when it got down to having to prove some points, you after a while, you know, you start showing true colors when I speak on, you know, the things that weren't true. You know, I think he took a big hit because of a lot of truth. You know, and again, if you can tell a story, then everybody else should be able to tell the same story with your shit. It don't always have to be with you to be something. If we find ourselves talking about them all the time and we got them on our yard and we can't talk about they dogs like they talk about they dogs, then don't you think there's a problem there? I mean, how many crosses do you make before you realize they're not what they claim they are because it's not working for me this way? And I'm making some damn good breeds. Now, back in our time, you know, those questions came to pass real quick. You know, you seen how some of these dogs is bred, 8, 9, 10 pages of breedings. And out of those breeds, you got down there 100 and something dogs. You know, probably half of them by different females and stuff. And you're looking down through there and don't see nothing. What are you looking for? Well, if you're looking like I'm looking, I'm always looking from the bus view of things because I'm always, you know where I'm always at. I'm always back there in the back. Remember, I don't have no room up in the front. I'm always asking y'all the questions. I'm only hypothetically speaking when I speak of y'all in the now. You know? Mm-hmm.
My man Eduardo Venezuela, I see you, fam. What up, fam? Eduardo said, well, why y'all be saying Chico lies Why y'all be saying that Chico lies when I personally saw Chico come in with 2 dogs and leave with 3 wins in one night? Y'all just be talking off your ass.
Well, if you didn't see Chico do that in the United States, you'll be probably one of the few witnesses who can validate what is true about what you're saying.
You know Chico.
Because I know Chico. You can't tell me about Chico when I knew him before he even went down there to Evolution. So that might work on everybody else out there, but I know Chico Lopez. I know the Chico Lopez. I know the Chico Lopez that was, a little, and then the other Chico Lopez got caught cheating. I know that Chico. Okay, so I mean, if you saw him do it, you didn't see him do it in this country. You didn't see him do it in this country. I can guarantee you that. He might have did it, but he didn't do it that much in this country.
He said 2 dogs and come out with 3 wins in one night. Where they doing that at?
Right. Went in with 2 dogs and came out with 3 wins. Okay. That's one of them crazy stories again. I bet it didn't happen in this country. Eduardo, I know it didn't happen in this country, my friend. You know what I mean? Because Chico just didn't roll out like that. A lot of this stuff came back a story. And a lot of those dogs, it was definitely pointed out, certain dogs even got caught in a lie. Certain things happened when they didn't. I never forget Toby Rom. Ring champion Toby Rom. Also made a registered married. Just so happened he was black though. Didn't have all that made and he's black. Didn't have a bit of black in his pedigree, but he was black. But guess what? Everybody didn't know nothing about that until I spoke up about it. I spoke up about a whole lot of them other so-called great dogs. Toby Ron all of a sudden disappeared. Disappeared right offline, pedigree and all. He didn't get rid of all. It sure disappeared like, Chico be watching my show? Because when you come from the old, a lot of us guys, a lot of people don't know these guys like I was around. So a lot of these stories, was probably hidden in the closet or thought they would never be told, you know what I'm saying? I just was just happy to be one to come out and tell the story. I can tell you about the Chico I know. Ain't nobody, you be questioning yourself if you heard what I know about him. I don't need nobody to tell me. I know. Okay, so not putting Chico down. I'm just giving the true facts. He built the yard. He was taught that. Evolution they were masters at that. Not saying that they weren't dog men. But when you're selling dogs, you get the wins the best way you can. When you're selling dogs, you get the wins however you can when you're selling dogs. That's a big difference when you're out here matching dogs and ain't trying to sell shit. You're trying to hit the best thing out there because it's all about competing. That's the difference between what, some guys do and then what some guys do just to sell dogs. Yeah, you can go out and get a champion and stud the hell out of him. You know what I'm saying? But that was just part of the game too. Can't sweat on the guys who got it the easy way, because you would never find them going out there challenging somebody who was doing it, for the competition way. Champions running the champions do make great matches back then, But it's not too many guys out there that I knew that rather, that took that chance with some of them, what y'all call great dogs. They had to get out there and produce, though. Hey, you can't knock them if they're out there producing. Can't blame the owner if the dog is producing. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame the dog. But that's really what's left. There's a lot of the evolution, Macho Buck stuff, Macho Bear. That's about, you don't have too many other lines of the Mayday Stone City Cross that really is relevant in the game. You see a lot of that. Macho Buck, you see EK, Macho Buck, Chico Lopez, Macho Buck, Macho Buck, Grand Champion on the same pedigree. You got this Macho Buck, and it ain't nothing. That still ain't been able to put his shit all in concept the way it really belongs, because it's been put in so many different ways. And it's good to see, what I'm saying, that it has production behind it. Why wouldn't it? Not taking nothing away from him. I mean, shit, you got 357, Mayday, in Stone City in your shit. You can't ask for a better cross. So it was definitely been able to pass the hands of time, but when you start talking about a brand, who gets the credit? Evolution or Chico? And they were both just selling dogs. You know what I'm saying? Even though we find them in there, what other dog, and this is for real, take Macho Buck out of the equation and give me another dog. He can brag about. Any one of them. We don't see him. We don't got him. Not taking nothing away from the man. Keep telling y'all. But I remember Chico when he was active Chico. And then I remember Chico became the salesman. He was always able to sell shit. He always had to get the gab. But, in the same instance, he came up because a lot of things was, you take 20 years and nobody's saying anything. Because maybe a lot of people didn't know what I knew. But I know for one thing, when I came back and I looked, I was like very surprised and didn't hold my tongue about it. Well, I don't know what y'all knew all this. Did y'all know this? Did y'all know that? Did you notice this? Did y'all notice all that over there going on over there? Ain't none of that shit happening over here. Who's telling the story? So, you got a lot of people out there that jump on the Chico wagon and give him that mark of fame, but there's a lot of us that, we don't even pay attention to it. But because I'm on this podcast and it came and fell in my lap, and I seen all this love going on and not taking nothing away from it, I'm like, y'all been getting misinformation. That's all that was. A lot of it was just misinformation. He's nowhere close to STP. No. STP did the hits in the United States. And there's a whole bunch of us that seen STP earn the right to be able to say what they say. We can't do that when you're doing it all over there. Because we're only hearing your version. We're not hearing no confirmation outside of my little man Perez and his name, Eduardo, speaking up, and that kind of, again, Super Kennels spoke up, but then, at the same time, look at it a little closer. Not saying that, and then not one time did I say Macho Buck wasn't a good dog, though. I never said Macho Buck wasn't a good dog. Not at all. But compared to the dogs that had better and bigger shows, you know what I'm saying? That was evident. Yeah. Oh yeah, if it wasn't for Word Kennels, that's why he got Dog of the Year. That's a fact. No, that is just a fact. You know the story. You know who I'm talking about. You know the people involved. You would clearly understand what I'm saying. I know what I'm talking about. And that's real. That's for real. Not taking nothing away from the brand of dogs because she created that while I was on vacation. So I ain't taking nothing away from it. But, good marketing. Like I said, a couple great lies. And, maybe I can jump out there and pronounce myself as one of the greatest dog men over Abrahams, over McNasty. I'm better than all them. My line of dogs is better than all them. Shoot, I made Mayday famous. Imagine me running around there saying that. And how many years can I say that and push it and then to the point I got everybody buying my dogs based on my line, my story. In true reality, in my case, I don't even believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? I might have some good dogs, and we definitely can say we have some growing hard dogs, but I can't never say that my dogs was, up there with Hardcore and Stone City and Victor and them, you know what I'm saying? And I could never do that. It would be a STP, I prefer myself, compare myself to True Colors in them. Grab whatever you can, dude, just put it in. Okay, what's up, Mike?
Big shout out to the Penny Stacker. What up, Penny? Penny said, don't take this personal. But what's up with that guy putting a video out saying one of y'all ratted on him? Forget Chico. I've been watching y'all for too long to hear this, respectively.
Ooh, one of us ratted?
Hold on, let me get that right there. That right there. I ain't never seen that video, but I'm going to get in here and speak on that. Mm-hmm. Penny, remember I told y'all the story about, y'all really don't really know who we is? We done had some of the greats, just out here in this game. And actually, we ain't really too hard people to find. But after my whole entire career, from the music business to my personal business, one thing you ain't gonna never, ever, 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 ever hear about us is snitching. One thing, brother, in order to be snitching on anybody, you got to get in trouble. See, one thing I can say about us, we far from dumb and way, way further than being nice. You ever had a thing to where you were respected by people, but then you motherfuckers will tell you they ain't really nothing to be fucking with? You're going to hear that more than you're going to hear anything about me ever having a snitch on a goddamn body, anybody, about anything. And like I said, I ain't hard to find. You can find my companies easily. Just look at my Facebook. Families and friends. So people can go say whatever they want to say. That's on them.
All they got to do is bring the paperwork.
All they got to do is hand me some damn paperwork.
If this paperwork out on me, I like to see it.
I like to see it. But then that kind of shit don't bother me.
Nah.
People can say what they want to say.
You got to bring it.
Bring
the receipt.
You got to have some type
bring
of...
it over here.
I mean, I don't even be worried about that type of shit. Because, again, people say what they want to say. But let me get this point right here across. Don't let what people say get you fucked up.
Right. You better make sure
you better know what you talking about. That's where I'm coming from. Yeah, because that's how that shit work over here. Be careful how you saying what you say.
Yeah.
Because that's how shit get moved around. But I know how to put that kind of shit to a halt, because I've always been one, before I call your ass a rat, I will put you on blast, because I'm sitting here with the paperwork. And then I tell y'all, my reach, I have a very, very long reach as an old man.
We got paperwork.
And if I call you a snitch, I got paperwork. And truly, we ain't the only ones that talk shit about Chico. Y'all remember, he was part of the raid
that I was involved in.
Come on. There was a couple people that could tell you that story. Remember, he got his ass damn, they got killed behind that same bullshit. That ain't nobody making up shit. That's the facts. Come on.
Got caught cheating.
Got caught cheating. That's evident. Yeah, caps in the dog's mouth. Those things was part of history. You can't get away from that. But now, when somebody puts something out on about us, I don't even. I look all beyond that. That's why I'm jumping on here because I'm tired to tell you this right now. Do your homework,
right?
And you go and find what you find.
Yeah.
And I guarantee if you talk to the right people, you're gonna hear them repeat everything I just said. Oh, they smart as hell. Oh, they been in the music. Yep, they business, everything. But I'm going to just tell you right now, you don't know them personally, man, but I'm going to put it like this. We don't know. They really ain't nothing to be fucking with. And there's a reason why people say that. Because just as good as I am good, I can be that much being bad. And I ain't me just talking out the side of my neck. Because in most business, you got to have some type of shrewdness about yourself, or everybody would take advantage of you. You see where I'm coming from? And I know I'm not talking to a bunch of kids out there. I think I'm talking to some grown men. I'm a 65-year-old man. I'm still living with the kind of life I had. So no, I don't take snitching and telling and ratting on people, but I don't believe in going to jail either. That's why my circle stays small, and my circles had the right people in it. And we did know how to take care of our business. And we did move around the country doing what we did with dogs. And we did everything that you could possibly imagine when it came to them damn streets. So just knowing that much, trust and believe. I ain't no newbie to this. I'm an OG to this. So put your paper where your mouth is, because I don't have a problem doing that to anybody. That's why I don't run around calling people snitches without knowing. We could call Dougie a snitch. A couple more people we can actually call snitches out here because, again, don't make me produce. Don't tell me I'm lying, and then you remember when I say I got paperwork, I'm going to let you see your own paperwork before you ever say twin lying. Because you skip me without saying something to me, I'm going to let everybody see your paperwork and let them choose for themselves. I don't put myself in that position to be calling anybody out their name or putting a tag of rat on you and not knowing what the hell I'm talking about. Y'all need to get that part in your life. Stop letting people tell you shit and believe in shit. Put in your own goddamn work. That's all I'm saying, respectively. Yeah. Yeah.
One thing for damn sure. And I put like Maurice's. If you're trying to look up my name, there's a whole bunch of Maurice's in this country, especially Maurice Bayless. So you better make damn sure when you say something like that about this Maurice.
Mic check.
Yeah, it's froze.
Hey, can y'all hear me? Mic check, mic check.
Damn sure when you say something like that about this Maurice.
Mic check. All right, y'all, let me deal with this screen right quick. Y'all hold on a second. Let me deal with this screen. I don't know what just happened here. But our screen has frozen. Hang it.
It just went black. It must have froze because remember I just hitting on the computer.
Yeah. Hold on, y'all. Let me deal with this.
Okay. I see I'm back. Hold on. I'm waiting. I'm back.
All right, we back. All right.
I'm back. No, the screen froze on that one. Yeah, I bet you I ain't never heard somebody call me a snitch. I'd be the first one to sit there and say, well, you better hurry up and bring the paperwork and you call me one. I ain't afraid. I ain't definitely ain't afraid. Okay? You just better make sure you right. You know, you get what you got coming. You gotta come correct or you're gonna get cussed out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't playing. I'll make you pay for it. You ever call me a snitch and don't bring nothing to show it, I will talk about you like you the one wearing the wire. You sitting up there I know how I get. You know how I get. Mo get mad, get on somebody's ass, he can't do nothing but have the paperwork, because if he don't, he's gonna pay for it. I'm telling you, he's gonna pay for it. You know? And then you're gonna have him stuttering. You know how they get to stuttering when they ain't got nothing. You know, he's gonna be coming with a friend told me, my friend, oh Lord, here we go with the friend thing. So you're gonna get cussed out because of your friend, because I'm definitely gonna put you through the mill. You know, you coming up in here saying they doing videos, but he need to hurry up and invite himself over here to explain himself. If he got the heart. I don't think he got the heart. Whoever put it out there, you got the heart, come up over here with it. And let's see how prepared you are to deal with that statement. If you want me to, I come to your house. You don't know how I act in your house, people's houses. You need to go back and check some of them videos so you can understand what you're going to be dealing with when I get over there in your house. Okay? Especially when you calling me a snitch. You better be prepared to deal with me. I don't think you're ready to deal with me. Okay? That's how I put it. That go for anybody out there who wants to hate on me. You hate on me all you want. My thing is, when you run in there in class with me, you already know how I'm going to behave. Do you want to really go through all that? You really want to go through all that?
We don't go through all that.
We don't go through all that. We do and say what we got to say, and we mean that, and we stand on it. If you don't like the way we say it, we don't care. If you don't like how I said it, don't care. Don't care how you take it, nothing. Just be ready to take it when you try to bring it. Now, I ain't trying to be no funny dude about it either, okay? I'm just letting you know. You can go back and send that back over there to where you got your information from. And let him know it's been put out there now. Time for you to put up or shut up. I'll teach you not to use my name in anything. This is how that's gonna roll.
It froze again, huh?
So it did.
My check. What is you doing with the screen? What is going on?
It's not the screen.
Hold on, y'all. I don't know what's going on with the screen, but let me see. If you go over here, will it transfer over? Because I think it's froze. It transferred over, but it ain't going over here. I don't know what the heck going on. But hang on 1 second. What I said. All right.
Check one. We back.
Yeah, I think I'm back. Yeah, we back.
Yeah, we back.
Gotta watch that thing, the thing, because it wasn't all the way over.
Oh, that's what was making it freeze.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So, guys, let's get back on the branding thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back on that, because I think that's what we need to, really need to start doing more promoting. We need to start promoting, these dogs and their branding and the purposes of these brands. Give me a good dog with a nice pedigree. And I done seen some nice ass pedigree. So I ain't gonna lie to you. If I got some bulldogs and I'm trying to breed, some of these dogs, I would be letting you know I'm breeding your shit. And then you gonna ask Twin, well, Twin, why you like my dog so well? What's the criteria, Twin? Well, you know why I like your dog so well? Because I ain't trying to hide the fact that your criteria and your bulldogs is something I know and I can relate to. See, I ain't trying to be, of the new. I ain't trying to be of the now. I'm basing my specifications based on what I've had all these years of my knowledge. And if I like your shit, there's a reason why I like it, even if I don't have a purpose. I followed the generations to the point that I like what you've done with it. Okay.
My man Eduardo said YouTubers be full if kids having their first dog and a big imagination to owning a Chinaman or a Mayday dog.
Mm-hmm.
We all used to be that.
Well, we used to do the same thing. We used to be the same way. We were straight bulldoggers. You know what I mean? Remember, I'm sitting around with some of the great old dog men, and they wasn't nothing but two old white guys that, you know, was giving me dogs. I ain't gonna lie to you. Before that, I'm riding with Cheryl Powell. I don't know nothing about these two dudes. You know what I'm saying? And just to know that they was giving me dogs. That's it. I didn't know nothing about who Atlas Brewer was. I didn't know who James Edward was, but I knew them. I mean, when I say I knew them, we was really going out to their houses on Saturdays and Sundays, just Cheryl Powell wanting somebody to ride with him. Oh, Cheryl, get up in it and put me right there in the patrol car. We ride way on out there to Wilson, where he at, where they at. You know, and just sit out there all the way to 4, 5 o'clock in the evening. And all they used to do is talk dog. I'm just as dumb as hell. I'm so busy. I'm always walking the yard. By this time, I got access to the yard. I used to walk around Atlas yard. Instead of them, while they going up to the porch, I'll go right to the backyard. See what he up to. See if there's anything in that little shed he used to have, you know. One time he went in, they pulled a dog out. That dog had a big ass weight collar on his neck. You know, that's how I knew about the weight collar, y'all. I jumped on that weight collar. When I seen that day, I was like, yeah, this is something right here. Yeah, and he came out, his shoulders all strong. He was tucked all tight. No muscles everywhere, but he was looking like he was skinny and shit. I was like, man, what's wrong with him? Boy, he looks strong as hell. You know, that was my first time I ever seen a match dog. You know, I don't know if he won or not, but that was the first time I seen a match dog. I seen it at Atlas. You know, when he went into this little, it wasn't a big shed. It was like a little small shed, and pulled that dog out. He had a big ass weight harness on his neck, and looking real good. You know, muscled up, pulled tight. I didn't know what the hell. Hey, what's up with him? So he got muscle. He pretty muscled up, but he's skinny. That's the first time I ever seen a match dog. Hell yeah, that's old match dog right there, huh? Why he so skinny? Oh, they, we bring him down to a weight. Okay, that's the first time I heard that one. You know, didn't really understand what he meant when he said it. Didn't keep this in mind. Nobody ever really sat me down in North Carolina to sit there and gave me the workout. You know, I always heard you come with the best weight. Okay, so I guess we chasing weights then. Okay.
We had 4 down there. 4.
I mean, we won 4 down there. We won one with Bruiser. We won one with Bruiser, one with Blood, one with Solo, and one with Judo. You know what I'm saying? And we had no idea. None whatsoever. What we was doing. We get all up there on Hall and we get laughed at. You know? They get, what are these dudes doing? These dudes don't know that. They come in with this little ass dog going to a big old 43, 44 pound dog. But just to be around them people and not know. You know what I'm saying? And just don't know. And then you look at today's, and you hear Chinaman and Frisco and Mayday, and you don't hear as much as Mayday as we used to. You know, because there's not too many great Mayday dogs out there. You know, we got the Yellow Man line of dogs. We got to keep them in mind. We still got Luke Kane out there throwing good dogs. Let me see. Any other yellow dogs? We gotta get the Walk'em dogs. You know, they finally starting to hit the map. You know, I've seen progress. You know, wish for progress. You know what I'm saying? Put her with the right stuff. Seems to be looking pretty nice. You see them type of dogs, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just when we say that these days, and I say that these days, I'm still standing, over here across the way in my time, viewing what I see in y'all back there with me. See, I'm way back here in the back. And I'm looking up there at you guys. So when I talk about you guys, I'm talking about you guys in the aspect of back here where I'm at. So don't take it personal when I'm back here where I'm at. Don't be blaming me because I'm not up there with y'all in y'all world. Okay? I'm not. And so when I talk about y'all world, I'm talking about it in my perspective back in my world. So, you see there's a difference. And I just give you open opinion standing back here in the back, being the old, disgruntled old dog man as y'all claim that we are, constantly telling y'all ain't doing nothing, ain't got nothing. I don't never really say y'all ain't got nothing. Because I don't know. I talk about the night dwellers, the visions. The visions, but I don't know. Night vision, you have to understand that world. That's just bottom line. That's a world in its own. We can't talk about, if there is a brand out there in the night vision world, with the night vision zone, you know what I'm saying? That's great. Because if they're out there, there's still purpose. Maybe, there's a few of them out there to still continue to build, even if it's under the wrong circumstances, to maintain the line. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I want to give a big shout out to my man Balls Deep. Balls Deep say it with your chest out, twins. Let them know you two brothers ride together and die together. Got to say I was glad being the only child, but I'd be lying if I said you two don't make me wish I had a bruh.
Yeah, that's right. That's right on, man. I hear you on that one. We do everything we do.
We wasn't like that we was like that with the people that was in our circle.
Right, we was. Our circle was we had fun. We wasn't on no silly ass shit like that. You can believe me, I didn't been caught up in raising got away when everybody else was getting caught. You didn't have to tell on nobody if you ain't catching me. Shoot, I went to trial with no witnesses. You know what I mean? Let alone a lawyer facing 20 years.
Then had Fed troubles.
Then I always had Fed troubles. I had Fed troubles from Ohio all the way down here to Florida. So, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never picked up a Fed case. You know what I'm saying? And that's because you don't know who you talking to. You don't even know who you messing with. I ain't trying to claim nothing. I ain't got to. Just know that. That's all. You try that if you want to. Because we got a lot of life out there. A lot of good people. A lot of friends. We've impacted a lot of lives. And if I could just tell them all, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Good and the bad. I ain't never had to worry about nobody telling on me. You might say my name out there, but what did that mean? You can say my name, but all that's gonna do is cause them to look. They ain't gonna find that. Because it ain't nothing for them to see. So it must be a lie. So I always tell them. They ever ask me any questions, I always tell them. You need to go back and talk to the person who told you, come back with some better information. What you want to talk to me about, bro? You ain't nothing to talk to me about. Whoever talking about me, you need to go back there and sit down there with them You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't had nothing to say. I don't know what you even talk about. You know, I'm one of them kind of silly guys. You know, we don't do that, bro. Don't have no need to. Don't get in that type of trouble. You know, we don't have to do Yeah, I know by the time it catch up, I'll be like still talking. Yeah, fellas. Guess we catching up on the mic here. By the time it kick in, you know what I'm saying? I'll be back in motion here, letting y'all know. You know, we don't know why the spin keep freezing, but we're gonna go ahead and cut this thing short tonight. You know, I mean, my conversation on the main topic tonight at a branding thing, you know, I couldn't even really get into, you know, any pedigrees because what pedigrees is we gonna use in the now? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and when we say branding for what? You know, so that's a kind of touchy thing when it came to, you know, the conversation tonight when it came to me from Mike about, you know, the branding, like Ronnie Boyles and Stone City and Victor and, you know, just some of these guys out here has been doing it for a long time and had their own line of dogs. There was another guy that used to be on Dougie's show, you know the one, Mr. Nobody, had all them Gaston dogs. Yeah, yeah. He had a good line of dogs, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know personally one of his dogs got jammed up down there in Ohio in a raid, you know? But he has some real nice, good dogs, and you know, he always called himself Mr. Nobody because nobody ever gave him the credit, you know, that he was due. But he definitely had a brand of dogs that was out there on the circuit that really did shine. He just never has seemed to, you know, he got the credit due to him. You raised it, you produced it, you just had it in the right hands. And the people that had it, you know, was able to do something with it. You know, you just missed your calling. You know, can't expect them to throw it back to you. You know, you got to step up and put yourself out there and let them know where they got it from. You know, where you can go and put your name on that tag. You know what I'm saying? And that came through you. You know, if you don't want to do that, then don't be crying about it when you feel like you missed your opportunity, and then nobody throw you a bone. You know, you don't need nobody to throw you a bone. You go get that bone. You know what I'm saying? You go get that bone. Step up because it was your shit and you make it known. Remember, my shit got out there and I make it known about everything that everybody else did with it other than me. I'm going to make it known. You know why? Because I'm the foundation. And then they built their foundation off the foundation that was already built from me. And then they went on to build another foundation and somebody built a foundation off of them. But when you look back and you see all that success between them three foundations, you understand why. You know, them are the type of people to get up there and take a brand and turn it from going hard to game deal, and then from game deal to whoever else next stepped up on the line, you know what I'm saying? And all the other guys out there that was able to get their hands on those dogs and win with them. You know? Yeah, you can look back and see those were going hard dogs. I won't step up and say it because I'm all up in there. But if it don't be for those guys, what would be the conversation? There wouldn't be none. Because there wouldn't be nothing out there. You know, and I sure ain't got a whole yard of this and that to be bragging about it. You know what I mean? So branding in the now, it doesn't really carry the big effect, except it's a paper chase battle. You know, for that to change, you need to get competition. You got to put another eye on the dogs. Something other than the background and the pedigree of what y'all trying to get away from, you're still using to benefit yourself. You know, that's the point I'm making. But you need to find something else to benefit from those pedigrees, you know what I mean? You know, you really do. Because sooner or later you're going to run out of the past. There ain't no dogs out here going for like, oh yeah, I got this, I got that, I got this, without using a dog of the past line of bulldog. You know it. Y'all know it. So stop acting like it's not that way. You know it is. You might need to do a poll on that. I'm telling you. I start seeing dogs show up on here with pedigrees that, aren't so great. But the dog is great, then I'll be saying, well, shoot, what is this dog? He's a treadmill runner. I would give him the same props. Why wouldn't I? He's showing his purpose. Hog hunting. Or a hog hunting dog. Grand champion hog hunting dog. Go out there and snatch one up real quick. However they do their competition. Why wouldn't I? A world ranking wall climber coming down by Dusant or the Cunninghams. Why wouldn't I? I would love to see a bloodline of the past give a new look in the future. It needs it. Y'all need it. Because even though you want to get rid of us old guys, y'all still playing in our pedigrees. Y'all still building off our generational great dogs. We haven't changed the names yet. 20 years and we still talking about walk 'em on Luke Kane.
Mayday.
Mayday. You know what I mean? Names ain't really changed much. We got Yellow Man out there, but then him, he's getting beyond his days now. You're gonna be seeing him back there in the 5th and 6th generation. You know what I mean? Unless you got straws on these great dogs, you're gonna be seeing them fall off your sheet. You be pulling them up on pairs online, and we be clicking back. And just to understand what you're trying to explain to us up here in the front. And still, and while we up here, what's up with him? That's the question. What's up with him? You gotta have something to say. Outside, he got a pretty pedigree. That's all I'm saying, fellas. That's all I'm saying. So I'm gonna end it on that note right there tonight. Good conversation, we'll talk shit on Tuesday. I wish I had more conversation with it because I really like to debate it. I like to debate the issue. I hear so much outside of this show, you know what I mean? I think it's a good debate to have on the show because it's not like it's hating y'all. I mean, the attack is not on us, on y'all. It's on y'all, on us, because y'all know I'm not lying and I'm literally telling you this was true.
See, what led to this conversation is I hear it's not the first time I've heard it. It's like we don't have nothing to offer the new guys, the people that are now. No, we're not telling you guys to go out and do what we did. That's far from it. But we do understand to change the outlook on these dogs based on the way you guys are putting it. And that's I'm talking about you guys are being like, forget those guys and what we was doing was all wrong and this new shit. I haven't been sold on the new shit because there is none. And that's my point. My point is, in order to create something new, you have to do something different. The American Pit Bull Terrier is always going to be what it was originally bred to do. It's going to be that dog. History has shown us many, many years and how we graded these dogs. But now all of a sudden the conversation is supposed to change. Well, I mean, pit bulls is out there running hogs and bulls and shit long before they came to America. I'm just saying. We got the pit bull name here, but what made the pit bull was the same thing that's in them now. That prey drive is just mandatory. But how about Why we don't have a bunch of y'all. I mean, I take my hat off to South Bottoms. I take my hat off to even Samurai. I mean, at least he's trying to create a digital dog show. I mean, that's somebody trying to do something. South Bottom, they setting the standards. You know, nice trophies, nice turnout. Tom, you know, that pig picking been around for years. You know, the ADBA. How come everybody don't run out there to the ADBA? Imagine if half of this.
Well, ADBA, your dog got
to be registered. Yeah,
so
well,
we ain't even that registered.
We're not. I mean, actually, I'm trying to get outside the ADBA. Not trying to hate on them, but you know, too much bias and too much bullshit. I think it's time for the community to create their own. You know, and they don't need to be all far and in between. Y'all might talk shit about what I'm fixing to say, but let the truth hurt. And I hope it be enough to make you look at what was just said and do something about it. That goddamn bully community. Boy, when they came in quick. They put it on the map and they did what was needed to be done. And I swear that had to happen over the last 10 years. Look how big it is. Couple people became millionaires off a fucking dog. And we are sitting at the bottom of the damn barrel in this community going back and forth talking shit about the old. And a bully would have been laughed at back in our day. Because you'd have been bringing that big ass dog in there and we'd have been ripping his head off. That's how we'd have been grading the dog. But different times means different measures. If you're going to be breeding for a purpose, what's wrong with creating a purpose? And when there's so many other things to do. So that's not me just forgetting about my people of the present. That's me telling y'all. What's wrong with branding your dogs? You can brand your dogs. What's wrong with a dog being branded one of the, treadmill racing dog, one of the best treadmill racing dogs in the country? You know, what's wrong with that? There's no shame in titles, gentlemen. For me, anyway. Not when it comes to these dogs. Because it's all about performance when you're grading anybody. I am not going to walk on nobody's football field and become an All-American just because somebody said, I know how to play football. Everybody want to know, why is he All-American? Well, let me give you his stats. That's in everything that you do. That's the part of the branding situation. You have to have something that everybody wants. In order to do that, you guys are in the perfect position and opportunity to create something new. You can't do it by yourself. But as a community, there is no excuse why you shouldn't. And that's what I loved about South Bottom. To me, it should have been more than what was there. That community, that show should get bigger every year. As far as I'm concerned. I really believe it will get bigger. But how many of y'all are willing to put in that work and become a part of that and see and help him make that grow, where he can start having those treadmill races, those wall climbing activities, those weight pulling activities, where if we don't hook up but maybe 3-4 times a year somewhere in the country is worthy of going to get our dogs seen. And especially when you got 3, 4, 5, 600 people down there trying to show their dogs. Because you know damn well I done been to plenty of occasions where it was 200-300 people to see a show. Folks lined up to see a show. And you can't tell me we can't do that now, doing it the right way. My thing is, how serious are you willing to take it? Because you see how that bully community look at they shows. Please understand. What I'm giving tonight is my advice to the now, the new, the future. Give them another outlook on what these dogs can and should be able to do. Should be able to do. If you give the dog the opportunity. That ain't the dog, that's on y'all. So this ain't got nothing to do with us being old. You ain't got to be worried about Bayday, Chinaman, and none of that bullshit. When you start making your own names based off their own abilities. Let's see how that grows. Guarantee y'all have the opportunity, being it's so new and it's so into the now, that if you really got a problem with it, then be a part of the change. Help it. Make it work. Find out why it's not working. Get involved. Because that's the only way it's ever going to change. Talking about it ain't never done shit without some type of action.
Sure.
So please understand where we're coming from in this, because I'm telling you, we ain't new to this game. We old to this game. We ain't trying to do nothing new. What we're trying to do is history. Don't have nothing to do with what y'all trying to do. But for the comments about trying to help the young guys, one thing we always try to help you do is understand the breeding program. Understand why they can talk about these dogs. Understand the history. But this history shouldn't have nothing to do with your future, because that's what you're doing. You're making a new change, a new platform, giving people a new way of looking at these dogs. And I still say there's a whole lot of pit bulls that I still see in people's homes. So as far as them being good house dogs and good pets, I mean, that part hasn't changed. Because now I don't even know when it's a pit bull or when it's a damn bully. I mean, I just look at how big they are. You know what I'm saying? That's a big ass goddamn pit bull. When you look at them and like, that's a bully. That's an XL type of shit. You know what I mean? All those kind of things. But man, all I'm trying to get y'all to understand is this has always been a business. Even back in our day, regardless of how y'all look at it, it has always been a business. And until y'all start making a new type of business to where you're going to have a reason to have the best wall climber, the best treadmill racer, the best weight pull, the best confirmation, it's not going to change. It's just going to be a whole bunch of people out here selling dogs and talking. Because that box world ain't meant for everybody. It wasn't meant for everybody back then, and it sure as hell ain't meant for everybody now. Because you got to have some big, gigantic cojones to be trying to do that shit now. And I don't take nothing away from my boys out there who feel like they don't mind taking that risk, because that's exactly what it was for us, and it's always going to be that risk. But who am I to tell them what they're supposed to be doing? I'm not. I'm not going to be frowning on them or acting like they're doing something all bad, because how it look for me to be thinking about telling them, oh, what you're doing is all wrong when I used to do it. And I'm not a fan of that. No, God didn't come down and touch me on the head and get me to understand this. That's something that life done. You know what I'm saying? But I want to give another big shout out before we get up out of here. We do brand our Malinois. I want to one day introduce y'all to the Von Wicks. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna love the Von Wick. You know what I mean? Because again, that's something we can be proud of. Because, you know, you get one of them Von Wick Malinois, you're gonna understand why they're branded to be, you know, them special dogs. because they are special. But for us, that's just another type of branding based on what we do with our protection dogs. But it's no different than what we did with the bulldogs. It's always going to be broken down based on the product, and the product is always going to be based around the work.
So still don't sell dogs.
And we still do not sell dogs. So it's something that you got to understand and be lucky if you ever got one. And for those out there who've got one of them Von Wick puppies out there, they'll tell you they know what they talk about because they have one. You want to know how one really is, ask a person who got one. If anybody wants to get into touch with somebody who actually has one, call us. Y'all have the email address, y'all have the phone number, just call. But we're not here to promote the Von Wicks. We're here to just let you know we're not dumb to this. We clearly know what the fuck we're talking about. Been doing it for too long. And it ain't always been about pit bulls and Malinois. We got to remember the Rottweilers, the German Shepherds, and the Doberman Pinschers, and how far back that goes. When it's not new to you, it's easy to talk about. But understanding that, it still takes a group to make it happen. So stop talking about it and start being about it.
Yes, sir.
You know, until then, y'all keep doing what you're doing. But don't be mad at us because we're talking about it. That's all. Hey, man. I seen somebody donating out there. Big shout out to Deep South Country coming in with the 777 showing his love. Appreciate the love, fam. Skip Bell, I want you to know, fam, I seen you, fam. My man, Mr. Derry Lockett, I see you, fam. Appreciate the love. Union Country Kennels, you know I seen you. Appreciate it, fam. Hey, fella, but y'all do me a favor. Do me a favor right quick. Y'all understand where I'm coming from? You know what we're talking about. I mean, this conversation is meant for the people who are a part of the now. Somebody just out there trying to make a change. To you, it's more than just selling puppies. To you, it's more that I need an avenue to show my work. I need a whole bunch of y'all to feel like that. So y'all, if you don't know where to go, you pick up the phone and call. Because see, when you got people like 7, 8, and Schoolboy, and us, and some of the other people we know, I even got a call from Old Man Mason, who was basically was watching the show, and he was saying, you know, when somebody told him, man, stop calling them Jeep dogs and call them Mason's dogs now. These are Mason dogs. Y'all made those breeds. And the first thing Mason came out of his mouth when he realized what the show was about, he said, man, what they need to do is get together and have more of these confirmation shows and some weight pulling, some treadmill racing. But he didn't want to come on and talk about it because, again, like he said, you know, it takes a community to do that. Well, guess what? We're going to do that. Now, does that mean we hating on what y'all do? How can we hate? Y'all ain't gave us nothing to hate for. That's all I'm be on. How can y'all get mad at anything about the old when y'all still trying to figure out how to get the new part right? But I'm trying to help you because it takes a community to make a change. One person cannot do it by themselves. Support each other. Support your work. Don't be afraid to hide. Get out there. Show them who you are and stand on it and be proud of it because that's yours. You need a platform to stand on. That's all I'm saying. Y'all give me some goddamn thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Muscles, muscles, muscles. Now, give us some damn roses, roses. We need them damn roses. Now show some damn love, man. What y'all waiting on?
Come on, y'all. You know, we've been doing that for a while. The roses and the thumbs up and shit. You know, I always think, you know, that's that real part of the show, man, where, you know, hey, you get it like you like it. And if you like it, show you like it. You know what I'm saying? Show you like it. You know, I wish I could get more involved into this show. I'm trying to tell y'all. See, when y'all just be just sitting there listening to me and I don't get no feedback, it makes it hard for Mike to come up with content. Y'all leave him nothing to piggyback off of that he can look in here and see some concern or some things that we can talk about. And then everybody that we talk to try to get a feeling of why we ain't getting it. You know, most of y'all say, man, it's like listening to God speak. What can we say? I mean, what can I say to that? I appreciate the comparison and the way y'all put things. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's like y'all leave me speechless when y'all say that. And you're not the only person. Many of you guys have said that to me. You know, is this what can we say? You're not like everybody else. You know, there's not really much to say. You know? So it's like, you know, I be getting that, but man, look.
We ain't too much that we ain't said that we shouldn't have already said.
Right.
You know, I mean, my thing is, we still talk about the old only because that's our experience. Business, yeah, we can talk about, you know, the business part of this. You know, Mo is very, you know, skilled in how to maintain and take care of these damn dogs and show you how to create and make and then make it happen, Captain. Remember we still had Doberman Pinschers, Rottweilers, and Malinois now. German Shepherds, remember, we have that experience. But the thing is, when it's just me and him, regardless of what we do, we ain't gonna never have a problem. Because we just don't talk about it, we really truly do be about it. You know? Failure is not a reason for us to say we quit. Quit is not a part of our, you know, come on now. I seen somebody make a little comment in the chat and they, you know, and I just didn't want to put it, I didn't want to blast their ass to the past, you know, simply because about, you know, something about the curse situation. Because again, one thing I can truly say, and I know for the ones that out there who have these bulldogs, it is very, 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 very hard to create something that other people can still maintain and do what you did. And for the person who made that comment, it would be hard for them to even have a conversation with me, even talking about doing any damn thing, because they wouldn't have nowhere to start. So how in the hell would you even be in a position to have a conversation like that with somebody like me? And I am nowhere near as big as the other people that we talk about. So that's the first thing that you need to look out before you get your fingers to typing and everything, and just be glad I didn't put your ass on blast. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, and I did see it. But again, I'm not always the bad guy. I just let sometimes people have that, but as a reminder, you got a phone number that you can call. And then you can always call on the show if you ever feel like you got enough hearts and balls to get off the typing thing and think that you can get on this show and talk. Because you got to remember, it's my platform, and I ain't never been afraid to let people say what they want to say, but be ready to take what's coming. And I don't do disrespect. I do, and I am willing to listen to any and everything that people have to say when you're trying to be cordial and you're trying to get to a point. But I ain't never been a fan of talking shit, because talking shit don't get nothing done. That just show you how weak it is. I prefer the man who don't say nothing, who really, at least you got enough balls to throw the first punch. At least you're swinging. At least you got the balls to swing. You know, I'll take my hat off to any man who's willing to do that. Because at least you're trying to be about it instead of talking about it. So feel me where we come from, man. I ain't just about that life. I am that life. Clean your ass up, clean your right up, man. 110 ways to put your ass to sleep, and then be wondering why you still here. Because I ain't really that type of person. So I will put you in your place, even at 65 years old, because of what I know. And I mean that. And I ain't me trying to be no big badass. That's just me trying to be honest. I'm always going to be confident.
No reason not to.
No reason not to be. If somebody want to prove that different. I've been lived in this world 65 years and I ain't never, ever had my ass whooped. But I ain't no shit starter either. So there's no reason for me to change. I like just being who I am. And two heads is always going to be better than one. Especially you got two trained Marines too. Oof. We don't really have many problems.
In the Von Wicks.
With the Von Wicks?
The Von Wicks?
No, bro.
No,
No, we don't have that many problems, bro. Not that we have to worry about. None. So take it from what I'm saying, man. We ain't talking trying to be something that we not.
Okay, you know what's up, baby?
Hey, K, you know what's up?
Y'all know what's up?
Carolina, you know what's up, baby?
Y'all know what's up.
D-Town.
That's right.
Y'all know
D-Town.
what's up.
Y'all know what's up. Up there in the Rock. The Rock. Rochester, y'all
Y'all
know what's up,
Yo,
fam.
Florida. Y'all know what's up, baby. Look, man, believe me, they know what's up. So take this as like somebody sharing a life experience with you, and that's it.
That's all.
That's all. Enjoy it while we at least we're still able to do it, and just take what you can from what we're trying to tell you. Reach out to us. Get on the back street and anything that we can help you with, just based off the knowledge. And then go from there. There's brothers that's really been back that hit me up, and they're out there getting their trucking companies and opening up their business and all kinds of shit. Twin, how do I do this? What do I do? And they're out here. Some of them right out here in this goddamn community.
People gonna tell you that we ain't each other.
Yeah, anybody who trying to find us, they do not have a problem if they really trying to find and talk. So that's not putting nobody, that's just giving back what was given. I told you that has always been our motto. If we give it to you, then you owe it to us to pass it forward. And that's just how this works. So again, community, I need y'all right here. As far as that curse shit, man, come on now. One thing we do, we always.
Everything we don't.
I'm trying to tell you, we always scratch the wind.
You don't believe that? Come see it.
All you gotta do is just come see. That's all.
That's all.
Don't come talking. Just come see. You know? Look, bro. Yo, no. Yo, Bryce.
Bryce? Hey,
Or
Bryce?
no, that's the new thing now. Yo, twin. You know, they say when they be using the word twin, they be, because they, you know, we not be calling, they be saying, the reason they be saying that because they ain't find nobody like them. You know what I mean? So I call them twin. Or they find somebody that's trying to be like them, you know, they always say, you twin because you're trying to be like me, but you ain't me yet, you know. So, but for us, it's just something that's natural because we are twins. And we do more damage together than we could ever do apart. That as individuals, you already got hell on your hands. So you can imagine when you got to deal with two. We don't really have to worry about shit like that, man. But with the things that y'all can do together, that's what we talk about. Because a lot of things that we did together in life, it took a bunch of people to do. Think of all the people we've been talking about. You know, the Stone Cities, the Southern Kennels, the Mamas, the M&Ms, the DMV, come on. I mean, that right there should tell you that it took more than just us. It wasn't our charisma to bring everybody together. It was the fact that we were looking to do something. We all had something that we felt like we could put off, and then everybody got together and we made it happen, Captain. And when you're doing shit like that, you don't have no time and no room for people who ain't trying to be on the same page you are. You don't have time and no room for nobody's bullshit. And you got to be loyal to them a motherfucker, because if you ain't, you'll be the first to find yourself somewhere you don't want to be. Because loyalty is always going to be the key to anything that you do in life when it comes to business. And we stand on that. So take these words to heart. And respectfully speaking, we gonna see y'all Friday for Hot Mic Friday. Till then, y'all stay safe.
Be real.
Be real.
And don't be hating because we represent Going Hard Kennels and the AK. AK. They from the Act Right.
They from the Act Right. Y'all know how we roll.
You already know how we roll.
Ask Stephen A.
Ask Stephen A.
Ask Stephen A. Everyone want to put shit. I better don't talk. Keep my son's name out your mouth.
That's right, homeboy. You get the acronym on it. You get some
Look.
acronym shit on it.
Don't get, money don't make. Look, man. Talk that shit. You really better be about that shit for real, for real. And that's an AK thing. I'm just saying. You know what? I'm gonna say Ohio thing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna. I mean, as much as Ohio and Detroit don't get along, maybe because we're so much alike and we're so close. That whole Michigan Ohio State thing is real, y'all. Just like that Akron and Cleveland shit. That's just for real, y'all. You know, and I mean, and to me, it ain't never been about a gang thing. It's about a lifestyle thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
It's just about a lifestyle. Don't be about it. Then why is you here? Don't fake the funk. Be the funk. Be the funk. That's all. I'm out, Lane.
Y'all started, fellas. That whoop talk. That's that whoop talk. Yeah.